Good morning, everyone. Today we will be discussing about a very important topic in epidemiology, case control studies. Case control studies are analytical group of studies which are the first approach to test a etiological hypothesis. So what is an etiological hypothesis? A hypothesis is a presumption or supposition about an observation or a reflection, which is actually derived from a descriptive epidemiological designs. So the three characteristic features of a case control study, or we can say it as three distinctive features a case control studies are: one, both exposure and outcome have occurred before the start of the study. Second, it proceeds from effect to cause. And third, the need of a comparison or a control group. So what is an exposure and what is an outcome? Let us take an example of smoking and oral cancer. So in this example, smoking is exposure and oral cancer is the outcome. So other names or synonyms of a case control studies are retrospective studies, backward looking studies, Trohock studies, etc. Now let's see what are the various steps in a case control study. There are four basic steps in a case control study. One, selection of cases and controls. Second, matching. Third, exposure, measurement of the exposure. And fourth is analysis. So let us see the first step, that is selection of case and controls. So what do you mean by a case? Case are those individuals who are diagnosed with the disease, or the disease individuals are called as cases, whereas those without the disease are called as controls. So how do you select a case? A case are selected based on diagnostic and eligibility criteria. What is the diagnostic criteria? A diagnostic criteria is which defines an individual to have a disease or not to have a disease. It is a set of guidelines based on which you segregate or differentiate an individual from a disease and non-disease. For example, if you're doing a study of a periodontitis, the cases will be those individuals who are having a periodontal pocket depth of more than 3, that is a probing depth, or a CPI score of more than 3. So that becomes your diagnostic criteria. Whereas eligibility criteria are other factors or other criteria which makes or individual eligible to be a part of the study. For example, your medical histories, or based on age or gender or socioeconomic status, they all form the eligibility criteria. Now, where do you get the cases from? Cases are primarily or most commonly obtained from hospitals. These are in case of hospital-based case control studies. They are also taken from general population too. Now, what are controls and how do we get controls? Controls are those individuals who does not have or who do not have the disease. That is, non-disease group of individuals are called as controls. So these controls are also selected from cases, similarly from hospitals. So these are the individuals who does not have the disease or who have admitted, who came to the hospital for any other diseases apart from which is being studied. Controls are also selected from general population, neighborhood and relatives. So next step is the very important step in a case control study, which is called as matching. Matching is a process of selecting controls in such a way that they are similar to cases with respect to certain variables or certain pertinent variables. If not matched, could distort the outcome of a study. So these variables are called as confounding variables or confounding factors, or these confounding variables are also called as third variables. These are the extraneous variables which, if not matched, could confound or which could distort the outcome of the study, and they are actually associated with both exposure and the outcome. The most commonly confounding variables are age, gender, socioeconomic status. So the presence of these confounding variables lead to something called as confounding bias if not matched. The next step in case control studies are the measurement of exposure. So as I have explained you, exposure and outcome, the differentiation between exposure and outcome, and how do you measure this exposure? The most common methods of measuring an exposure is either the use of questionnaires or personal interviews, or from past records or past medical records or personal records, or from the OP cards which is available in the hospital settings. So once you have collected all this information about a case and about a control, then final step of a case control study is analysis. So analysis is done to estimate the exposure rates in cases and controls, as well as to also to find the risk estimate, which is called as odds ratio in case control study. So let us take an example of smoking and oral cancer. So we have, or we do something called as a 2x2 table. So in a 2x2 table, you have two columns which denotes cases and controls, and the rows which denotes exposed and non-exposed. So in our example, it is a smoking, that is smokers and non-smokers. So let us denote the alphabets A, B, C, D in a Z pattern. For an example, let's arbitrarily give some values like 20, 45 and 35 for each columns. So you get a total values of every parameters like cases, controls, exposed and non-exposed. Now to calculate the exposure rate in cases, you take column wise, that is A by A plus G gives the exposure rate in cases. So that is 20 by 25. Fine, which gives a value of 80%. So the exposure rate in cases are 80%. Similarly, the exposure rate in controls. So exposure rate in controls is from the table we can know that it is 40 by 75, which is almost 53.3%. So this gives the exposure rate in both cases and controls. Next, we'll go to something called as the risk estimate. The usually risk estimates is done by a formula or a parameter called as relative risk, which is given by the formula incidence among exposed by incidence among non-exposed. But unfortunately, a case control studies does not give incidence parameter, or it does not give the incidence, the number of new diseases. So we have an alternative for relative risk, which is called as odds ratio, which is also described as the strength of association. So in odds ratio gives the strength of association between the exposure and the outcome. So the formula for odds ratio is AD by BC, which is also a cross product ratio. So we take diagonally the alphabets, that AD by BC. So from our table, we get a value of 3.5 when we calculate the values. So how do you interpret the odds ratio? So odds ratio is interpreted as always it has to be more than 1. So that when you get a value of more than 1, that is when you interpret odds ratio. Or we can say that there is a strength of association between, or the association between the exposure and outcome is meaningful. So in this case, if 3.5 is the odds ratio, we say that the people who smoke are 3.5 times more chance of having oral cancer when compared to people who does not smoke. So that is the meaning of odds ratio. Now let's see what are the advantages and disadvantages of a case control study. A case control studies, the first 3 advantages can be remembered in the form of 3 R's. So you get a risk estimate, or you can measure the risk in a case control studies, the first. Second is it is used for rare diseases. You can use a case control studies for rare diseases. It can be used to find the other etiological factors. For a one disease, you can find multiple etiological factors. Then you can find there is no issue of attrition or loss to follow-up unlike your cohort studies. So all these advantages are when compared to your cohort studies. And you have, it is rapid and inexpensive. Then what are the disadvantages of a case control studies? Case control studies, the major disadvantage is it cannot measure incidence. The next is the need of a control group or a comparison group. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of case control study. So to sum up, case control studies are the first approach to test etiological hypothesis. Case control studies are also called as retrospective studies, backward looking studies, or case reference studies. Cases are those individuals with the disease, controls are those without the disease. 4 basic steps: selection of cases and controls, matching, measurement of exposure, and analysis. Selection of cases, you select the cases from hospital settings or general population. Controls are selected from hospitals, general population, relatives, or neighborhoods. Matching is a step, a process to then avoid confounding factors. Two types of matching, group matching and pair matching. In group matching, you divide into stratas or groups, whereas in pair matching, for every individual case, you select a corresponding control. Say for example, you have a 35-year-old male patient with periodontitis, you select a control 35-year-old male patient without the periodontitis. So ideally or practically, the case to control ratio is 1:1, but you can increase, you can go to 1:2, 1:3, or 1:4. Now, measurement of exposure is done either by questionnaires or from past records or direct interviews. And finally, the analysis is done either in the form of odds ratio. You measure the exposure rates in cases controls, and odds ratio is derived by AD by BC, that is a cross product ratio. Thank you.